This video has two titles. One is that if you are feeling froggy, then leap. Think about the fairy tale of the frog that turns into a prince. It needs to be kissed, right? And frogs like to jump or leap. I am the Michael Jordan of martial arts, and they will send more Miss Piggy type catfishes in the future, I'm sure. If not, it is because I leapt, as they scientifically predicted, after provoking me to a ridiculous degree. Scientists who like to dissect frogs before they ever become princes. Which leads me to my next title. Scientists are pagan dogs who have destroyed morality in the name of secular humanism. To pretend that that is not the case makes one an inhuman beast. Now think about where the blame should go. Scientists' quote-unquote ingenuity, right? As they study eugenics and biodemography and social Darwinism. Scientifically, when eugenics was coined by a statistician, Francis Galton, Charles Darwin's cousin. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a degree of evolution or that evolution doesn't exist. But I am saying that these skull and bones, chemist, Berzelius society, wolf's head, scrolling key bitches, are part of a greater pirate ship, a global pirate ship, as far as the eye can see, where it is insane to blame everything on the captain and the first mate. Soulmate? No. Shipmate and mating, Viking style. Admirable? No. Disgusting. These are literally people who watch people starve as they spend thousands of dollars on their dogs in a show. And quite often, I'm sure, they cry when their dog doesn't win because there's some presentation bitches. And I am the great Spaghetti. Now, there is a degree of mockery and humor, but this shit is not funny. And if you miss my point, you're a dumb fuck. If you focus on my presentation to cite, characteristics of mental illness, you're a fucking idiot. I have been provoked far more than any soldier in any war. So let's look at the professor and the apples, shall we? Do you want to be the teacher's playboy bunny sorority slut of a pet in a secret society? And suck the teacher's dick, Adam and Eve style, and pretend that you shouldn't put the martial guard in the garden and marshal things in a way that's consistent with the caduceus symbol, the herald, the hare, not Herod, but the hare and the herald, the heir to the throne. Don't be some Dexter that is spiritually thrown down without hesitation as they sit there with a hippo look on their sick little face when they meet their maker. Even with these ailments, as a genius, I consider myself the most logically and naturally desirable single man. Now bear with me. Bear with me. My mouth, especially gums, burn and threaten the stability of my teeth. My throat aches. My head often aches. My eyes throb. And my vision is blurry. Sometimes my speech is interrupted and slurred. My joints ache and I suffer a marked loss of coordination. Dizziness is common. Digestive problems, including ones that relate to my sexual and reproductive issues. My parents suffer some of these effects related to digestion and are complicit in my targeting. The government keeps me from drinking alcohol as it tastes bitter like vinegar or something. And that you can draw parallels to the Bible in that as well. The psychological issues are minimal. And related to mistreatment by mental health personnel, particularly psychiatrists and the psychologists who must be involved. The lack of feeling like a human from mind-altering pharmaceuticals makes life empty, and a religion-attacking science class-like feeling is always there. The fact that scientists are bitches is a recurring theme that is unavoidable and has led to the downfall of society. And the idea that women think it's cool to sleep with them and pretend that they are our saviors and they're some kind of heroes or they're the coolest thing in the world It makes it so I have no respect for women anymore. None. And my mom's even a feminist, and it makes it hard for me to love her. Thank you, feminism. And thank you for conservatives for your controlled opposition left-right in the name of white supremacy paradigm. And all you traditional Masons for wearing aprons and not making me a fucking sandwich while you drug my food. Certainly there are many good and evil spirits waiting for scientists in death. All right, so now let me go to the rest of my speech. If we have time, we'll go over the countless reasons I'm right about martial artists being the ones who should be in charge, and how the wordplay of society is like the soul Invictus. You know, Sutek no loss. Sutek knows he lost, right? Sol Invictus backwards, which is the sun, you know, worship in Rome. Sol Invictus. Remember, this leads us to the Viking probes and Apollo 13, you know, pagan science, you know, the Library of Alexander, and on, Alexandria. Life is not worth living because of pagan scientists, and honor killed me in the end. I have successfully argued that I am the top martial artist in American history, and this led to me gathering 15 witnesses to the psychological operation against me. To be this aware and perceptive means my acuity and keenness does not warrant any negative speculation regarding my sanity. The people behind the government are globalists who have controlled the general flow of monetary systems for a long time. I promise you all on my honor that they still do behavioral control and modification experiments. Some never heard of B.F. Skinner or MK Ultra, and many more, aware of advertisement and propaganda campaigns, are willing to play along and play Baal, Baal, play ball, bull, bullshit. Paganism includes science, and I urge you to Google it. Paganism is the technique of attacking natural martial arts-based religious systems that date back maybe 100,000 years plus or more, but certainly 70,000 years or so to the Python head stone found in Africa, and not even in Northeast Africa or Egypt. The sapiosexual movement ties into biodemography and eugenics for the privileged class. Control of sexual behavior for obvious Greco-Roman Spartacus series type of reasons. They have technology on record in mainstream scientific journals, periodicals, and publications that allows them to read your mind. They also can use frequencies and matter-based technologies to influence your behavior to a sinister degree. I've heard it referred to as nanotech and smartbots. Inferior geek-like cowards like to pretend that they are superior, while pedophiles, homosexuals, and coercion/social pressure/mind control technique using rapists who moved on from their immature college date rape drug days to more pagan-inspired Greek society friendly technology-based sick methods of controlling your decision-making process. This is not a world worth living in, especially when you consider the natural complexities of fragile and easily altered conditions that allow for the possibility of human life on Earth. A slight change in the chemical conditions of the water, for instance, or the atmosphere's effectiveness could possibly, you know, alter and make it so that the biosphere's hospitality to human life is not so sustainable. Everything from a random meteor to the risk of pollution puts us at risk. You would have to be insane to even consider that there is no greater power out there, or that spontaneous generation is possible. All things are done through God consciousness of a single creator, powerful enough to move faster than light in a spiritual state that allows him to be more massive as he does so, in a way scientists cannot possibly imitate. Okay, so he is more massive in spirit than you can possibly imagine or imitate. And they have argued that a rocket cannot, as it approaches the speed of light, that it becomes so massive that no fuel could possibly power it any further. Okay. 100,000 years ago, martial artists moved in a spirit that scientists still do not understand or even begin to create scientifically. Is it enough to understand slightly better scientifically than Tyson, as he knocks out a motherfucker from the sidelines to expect women to want you more than they want him. So if you're a geek on the sidelines, you see, look, this is how he knocked this person out, right? Should women then say, hey, the scientist should be the pharaoh and so on, and he should be considered the greatest boxer and the leader? No, martial arts types of intelligence are what it takes to be a strong leader. And Ikenga, I King A, I am the strongest leader. Don't let the glasses fool you as they mess up my eyes and scientists move against me in their pitiful state of jealousy and hopelessness. I'm actually a very serious martial artist that can move faster than anyone on the planet, naturally. All right. So they are a jealous, less than an African warrior pussy at best, and I do mean at best. I am a martial artist in a computer science, and believe me, the former far exceeds the latter. Just like a parrot is inferior to a hawk, a scientist is not a man, but a gender-neutral weakling that after tens of thousands of years cannot, for the life of him, understand why it is inferior to be a scientist, instead of a natural man living his life with morality, while they unnaturally drift in a sick, Lex Luthor mind state toward the despicable Dr. Mengele Magneto illusion that you only live once. To be a scientist is to scientifically understand why you are inferior and to desperately scramble to control women's affections through colleges and private fraternities and groups as a result. If you teach your child science over sacred morality, you are part of the vile sickness, the sickening, contagious, venomous slime that is destroying humanity while offending God and a natural order that we still don't understand scientifically, only religiously, that miraculously allowed for this planet against monumental odds that a scientist would never dream of starting an experiment based on that possibility of success to exist. All right, in the last 3 minutes, let me shoot through some of the wordplay. These are the words I came up with, that I've come up with before, some of them, and in the last few days I've added on to them, or so, last couple weeks or whatever. Worship, right? It's a play on words. Figure it out, figurine, you know, statuette, statue, and of course Alexander the Great and other statues of warrior pharaohs and warrior leaders and kings and so on, right? Alexander the Great, not some fucking Einstein the Great ass bitch, right? Why is it Alexander the Great and not Einstein the Great? Because even in their own scientific cultures, they see it my way. Coordinate, right? Coordinate, body coordinates, coordinate, right? Physical shape, physique, right? Physical fitness, and so on. Throne, to throw someone down. Heartbeat, right? The beat of the drum, to beat someone up. He's beat, right? Heartbeat. Hamstrings, right? Ham, sham, japheth. The temple, the body is the temple. Body build. Spirit, Holy Spirit. Sword of Scripture. Helm of salvation. Breastplate of righteousness. Shield of faith. Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, right? Haru the Skywalker. And Darth Vader, okay? Backwards is trade Red Ave, right? Take that route. Red Avenue. Red is the color of evil, the principle of evil. Okay, so let me just shoot through this. Neckin, Beni Hassan, Ben Stone, a staff, you know, your staff at a hospital, whatever. Righteous indignation, indigenous, dignity, and so on. And there's other words that relate to prove why I am who I am, but I can't explore. Polis, a city center, called center. Polis, you know, obelisk, Obi, all ask, and so on. Godspeed, light speed, fasting, light contact, offense, right? To fence, offense. Mountain range, you know, the range of a strike. A stance, your political stance. Kata, cons, adfu, set haraketi, animosity, arms, firearms, point, sharp, brain, to brain someone, hit him on the top of the head. Martial, engage, caduceus, herald, physician, dexterity, fitness, fittest, survival of the fittest, pinpoint, strike, movement, move, motion, tread, wind, grace, train, block, deck, savant, master, stab, slice, stick, cut. Penetrate, knock, kick it, pound, drum, march, beat, mop up someone, touch, fuck them up, cream, whip, charge, crack the drug, to crack someone, to charge one, electric charge, you know, tone, rip, you know, buff, history buff, think tank, abbot, and abbot is a kung fu monk, Shaolin monk, march, warm up, heated, heater, rating, life force, hold down, repress, jumped. Thank you.